Hi, my name is Dawn Davis, the Executive Director of SPARK, the Education Foundation for Prince William County Schools, and welcome to SPARKTalks, a new series with monthly topics, the area of focus of social and emotional learning. This month, we will hear from Hanni, a nurse manager with UVA Health Prince William's Medical Center's Behavioral Health Inpatient Program. Jenny is a registered nurse who holds a Master of Science in Nursing, Nurse Executive Board certification, a certified addiction registered nurse, and a psychiatric mental health nursing certification. She has 35 years of experience across a vast array of nursing domains and countries. With 20 years of teaching experience, Jenny is also a healing touch practitioner and Reiki master whose main career focus has been behavioral health. And a 2022 NIH study revealed an average level of burnout was found in 65.9% of participants. Safeguard your wellness and discover ways to elevate your level of compassion satisfaction. Please welcome UVA Health Prince William Medical Center's Hanni to SPARKTalks on compassion fatigue. Be well.
My name is Jennifer Hanni, and I'm going to be talking to you about compassion fatigue and some of the costs of caring and things that you can do for yourself in order to do some self-care. I'm going to start with sharing my screen. Like I said, we're going to be looking at compassion fatigue and the cost of caring. The intention is at the end of this little Spark Talk, we're gonna walk away with defining some of the components of self-care, how they can be integrated into your personal practice, and identifying some self-care methods that you can utilize during times of stress. After gaining some didactic understanding of what some of those definitions may mean. In terms of compassion satisfaction, this encompasses the pleasure and the satisfaction, the satisfying feeling that comes from helping others. Compassion satisfaction is coming home from work, feeling good about the work that you've done, and then spreading that positivity and encouragement to the rest of your life. Our work can be really overwhelming. Our challenge is to maintain our resilience. One of the most used words since the start of the pandemic. And so that we can keep doing the work that we do with care and energy and compassion. You cannot help but be affected by what we do. It is our caring and our desire to help that draws us to helping professions, but then it's the core of who we are. Being aware of how to create that balance. On one side, you have satisfaction, and then on the other side, you have compassion fatigue and burnout, and what to do in order to create that professional quality of life. There are some warning signs for compassion fatigue. When you feel like you have no more to give, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're exhausted all the time. You have that like, I'm done, I can't do this anymore. Everything feels like a lot of work and takes more energy. Our compassion, our feeling is at the heart of everything that we do, of our work, and at the heart of who you are. But excessive demands on our empathy and on our caring can leave us feeling worn down, burdened, dreading our next day on the job. And some of those signs, I call them the uh-ohs, include things like feeling physically and psychologically and emotionally exhausted, feeling helpless and hopeless and powerless, feeling irritable, angry, sad, or numb, being a sense of feeling detached, or having a decreased pleasure in the activities that you normally would really find enjoyable, ruminating about work, thinking about it when you're not at work, feeling angry towards the events or the people that are causing stress, blaming yourself and having thoughts of not having done enough to help, to meet those deadlines, to meet those deliverables. People also talk about having a decreased sense of self, of personal and professional accomplishments. They start to minimize what it is that they're doing well. You may also notice a change in your worldview or your spirituality. There's also some physical symptoms that may manifest themselves, including appetite and sleep disturbances, nausea, dizziness. Cognitively, you may feel intrusive memories, confusion, kind of feeling spacey, like you're not really quite there. Some rigidity in terms of processes and things being done in a certain way, self-doubt, disorientation. Um, Emotionally, people have expressed that they feel things like anxiety, depression, fear, sadness, anger, rage, feeling overwhelmed. Behaviorally, people may it may manifest itself or present itself in people being hypervigilant, having sleep disturbances, not sleeping through the night, or not feeling restful when they wake up. Maybe an elevated startle response, something happens and you're quick to react. Appetite changes, that can be increases or decreases depending on how that presents itself for you. Feeling moody and really impatient. Socially, people have described feeling overprotective or withdrawn, isolated, indifferent, not wanting to participate because everything just feels like so much. Feeling really lonely. It can also affect your intimacy in your relationships, and a lack of interest to socialize. And physiologically, it has an impact on the body itself. People talk about having body aches, dizziness, like vertigo type symptoms, breathing difficulties, somatic complaints. It increases pain if there's chronic pain issues going on. An impaired immune system. We know that stress increases cortisol, which decreases people's immunity response. And rapid breathing and heartbeat, kind of, that help palpitations. People have talked about being able to hear their heart beating in their ears. At the next level, when that fatigue, when those feelings of being overwhelmed extend for periods of time without any personal rejuvenation, that can extinguish your spark. Burnout is compassion fatigue and overdrive. It's more than being overworked, but it's also a threat to your students in terms of, your being your best self, your well-being in terms of your relationships, your cognition, your ability to follow through, all your relationships, both at work, professionally, and personally, and ultimately on your career, because you're not meeting those deadlines. Burnout is that cumulative fatigue that stems from too much. It's defined as the mental collapse caused by overwork and stress. And there are ways to identify these warning signs, and some of them overlap with compassion fatigue. For example, high levels of anxiety, not just that little bit of a pitter patter, but I mean high levels of stress, feeling frequently on edge, adrenaline constantly coursing through your body because of that stress response. A lack of engagement. You're not feeling motivated at work. You have difficulty focusing or exhibiting a really short attention span. Increased cynicism, feeling of resentment or disconnection. You may notice yourself being more negative and cynical, feeling cranky and defensive or snappy at people easily when that's not your norm. You don't make time to talk on the phone or connect with people who matter the most to you. If you're feeling a lot of resentment towards other people, chances are it's because you're not getting your own needs met and you're on the path to burnout. Additional symptoms include distracted eating. You're eating your meals in front of the computer, the television, or while on the go in the car. There's not even enough time to sit down to focus on a meal. Not getting enough sleep. We talked about that. The suggested minimum sleep is 7 to 8 hours each night. If you're getting less than this, then you're at risk for burnout. Your body doesn't have that time to rejuvenate. Low energy and exhausted. You're tired. You're not just sleepy tired, but emotionally fatigued. You may feel exhausted at the end of the day with no energy left to exercise or even engage with others. and you're feeling like there's never enough time. You feel as though you're always in a hurry. You never have enough time to get things done that you're trying to accomplish each day. We're also additional symptoms of burnout include excessive worrying and high levels of criticism. So your mind cycles on the same worry-filled thoughts again and again, kind of like I call it like being like hammy hamster on the wheel. You can't seem to stop. The critical voice in your head is really loud, telling you constantly need to do more, that you need to work harder, that no matter what you accomplish, it's still not enough. There's there is no self-compassion voice to balance that critical voice. The critical voice in your head is stronger and louder than the voice of caring. Physical illnesses may start to present themselves. Initially, the physical symptoms can be subtle. You can experience headaches, a persistent cold, stomach bug, frequently weakened immune system. If those signs are ignored, your body may hit a wall and you may receive a more serious diagnosis. It can result in heart problems, in problems with your breathing, more asthma attacks, increased allergies, sensitivities to environmental stimuli or foods, things that, new things are going to manifest themselves because your body just gets tired. It gets exhausted. You may notice signs in terms of a burnout include inefficiencies, experience a diminished personal accomplishment, a perceived decline in competence or productivity, and expending energy at work without seeing any results. You just kind of go and go and go and go, and you can't really get things down. And one of the other signs of burnout include not having any breaks. Can't remember the last time you took a vacation or took a single day off just to relax and do nothing. Or perhaps you haven't had a vacation for 6 or 12 months. You work through the school year and then pick up more work and jobs during the summer, and there's just no break, no stop. There's no breaks in terms of recharging through the day. You may have a tendency to push through work without taking a break. It's one thing to be in the zone, but if you notice you're not getting up to get a glass of water, to stretch your legs, to go on a walk, to call a friend, at least every 90 to 120 minutes, you may be putting unnecessary stress on your body for sitting for extended periods of time, for dehydration. The other thing that you may notice in terms of no breaks are things like weekly rituals. You haven't made time for a rejuvenating activity in your week. Something that pamper yourself. It can be as simple as having an uninterrupted coffee, reading a book, having a bath, cooking a meal that you really enjoy cooking. Something that you do simply for pleasure that really brings you joy. And the last but not least, in terms of signs you may be moving towards burnout, is not enough exercise. You aren't taking as much time to exercise or to move your body as you would like. So first, one of the things I would encourage is to first go through the slides in terms of the symptoms of compassion fatigue and burnout, and then circle your top 3 symptoms. And then ask yourself, what do I need to do next for each of these areas? For example, if you're eating at your desk 5 days a week, what you may need to do is to connect with friends or colleagues over lunch more often. Like maybe go to the lunchroom. Ask somebody to go, out for a quick coffee or to grab something, or go on the car ride with you to grab your lunch together, or to exercise during your lunch break. If you haven't had a vacation in over a year, what you need to do is schedule one. Schedule something for yourself. The silver lining is, just like a medical diagnosis or a mental health diagnosis, identifying what's happening gives you information and a label for what is happening. Recognition is a gift, and it allows you to enact a recipe for success. It lets you know what to do to take care of yourself. And once you determine what you need, you can come up with an action step for each of those areas. An action step has a what and a by when. For example, I will plan a vacation and book the tickets by next Thursday at 4 p.m. Setting concrete goals is one of the best ways to ensure you'll make a change. One of the other things that's really gained a lot of momentum is making it known to other people, posting it on the fridge for the family, letting your colleagues know what it is that you're doing. And boundaries are okay. You can say no. Breaks are not selfish. The needs of others don't outweigh your own. Working constantly does not mean that you're making your best contribution. You may be exhausting yourself to the point of no return. So self-care plans are important. They are gaining momentum. A self-care plan is a preventative tool that will help you to cope with life's inevitable adversities. It's not just about work, it's about life, life situations. Because you're not exactly in the best position to being calm and making rational decisions when you're already in the middle of a crisis or you're already in the middle of an increased stress. Self-care can easily fall by the wayside when life gets chaotic and busy and, report cards and, family phone calls, and there's things going on in the classroom, and it's cumulative, and there's so much going on for you. And then you have all your personal life going on too, and all the story that comes with that. So having a plan in place ahead of time will help you to be resilient and to maintain control over your health during stressful times. Take care of yourself before you can take care of others. I just love that the oxygen philosophy when you're on an airplane. You can't help and protect and be there to take care of and to listen to the tasks of what's going on. You can't take care of other people unless you take care of yourself first. So customizing a self-care plan is a preventative measure, but it means designing a roadmap that is unique to just you, because everybody's self-care plan is going to look a little bit different. It's encouraged to do it in moments when you're not in crisis. You're directing your best self to reflect on what you may need and have access to in your most challenging moments. The reality is that you know how intense your stress levels can get and what resources are available to you and what works for you. Being mindful of those activities, those things that bring you joy, and help to replenish the energy that you're expending, so that you can take care of yourself and other people. 10 things, there are some examples of things, some things you can do for yourself every day. You can get enough sleep. You can focus on what you did, gratitude journals. You can get enough to eat, make good decisions about what it is that you are eating, and make those things available to yourself. Learn from your mistakes. And sometimes that can be easier than others. Do some light exercise. It could be a walk. It could be vacuuming. It could be dusting. It could be getting the laundry down from, upstairs to downstairs, going up and down those stairs a few times. It could be sharing a private joke, a positive story, or a memory that makes you feel good. It could be, for some people, it could be prayer. It could be meditation. It could be relaxation breathing. It could be sharing a private joke. Doing something pleasurable, something you enjoy. Some people get a lot of joy and a lot of rejuvenation from supporting somebody else. They get back what they give. And you may find that varying the work you do, changing it up, changing your routines is also a great way to be proactive and to to provide yourself with some self-care. One of the things I do encourage people to do is to take that inventory of where you're at, what's on your plate. Start that self-care, that plan, that collection. Limit your hours of work, knowing how to switch it on and off, which is easier. Some people do it physically. As they're walking through the door, they imagine a light switch. And it is your empathy for others that helps you to do this work. Talk to yourself as you switch from one conscious process to another. Limit solo working time. Have a buddy, have somebody that you check in with. Listen carefully and share experiences. Acknowledge your tough situations that are going on. And again, I can't give enough emphasis to that sleep hygiene. Establishing a routine and a schedule. You cannot sleep. When you cannot sleep, do something calming. Read a book. Sit quietly. Allow your body to at least catch up with itself. And last but not least, I want to leave you with some resources, some additional places to check in with. And I've listed some websites here for you in terms of mental health and self-care. They have some great resources on how to set those up, what they look like, what vision boards look like, and some really, really great ideas. Then there's also some apps that you could try. I know a lot of times our phones just seem to be constantly with us all the time, and they're also a great resource for self-care. And so I just want to leave you with some final thoughts. Keep calm, practice self-care. What you give to yourself will allow you to continue to give to others. Because the work that you do is so, so very important. And you are important, not only to your students, but to your family, to your friends, to your colleagues. And I just want to also say thank you. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for taking a moment to pause and reflect on where you're at. And have a great day.